I mean, unless you have shit to do, then...
I have nothing. But if you, have shit to do, then,
I have nothing.
Yeah, I was really moved by it. I felt very compelled towards wanting to do it. I found it really touching. Felt very honest. It felt very heightened. It felt like it was very much about life. It made me laugh. It made me cry. And I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it with John as the director. And then when Florence came on, it was, a train that had left the station.
This film has generated so much reaction on TikTok. People are videoing themselves crying with millions of views.
This is us before seeing We Live in Time. Yes. This is us after We Live in Time.
Oh my fucking god. If you aren't mentally stable at the moment, don't watch We Live in Time. Don't do it.
With millions of views. Why do you think it's resonated so much with people?
Love that. And I don't know, but maybe because we don't allow ourselves to feel as vulnerably and fully as maybe in previous eras. I think right now we're in a world that's so destabilized, and everyone is so just holding on for dear life about what fresh hell awaits us in the larger culture morning to morning. And I think we all feel so precarious on the edge of what is going to happen in our world, and who's going to win out, and are we safe? And a lot of the time, we have every reason to not feel safe, to be vulnerable to reality, because reality is so unpredictable and so uncertain right now. And I think maybe this film offers a little bit of an opportunity to break some of that numbness, to break some of that dissociation, and to re-enter the kind of the heart space, I suppose, and remind ourselves that in order to be alive, we have to deal with the fact that we're all, heading towards the same ultimate destination.
And do you feel like it's a bit of catharsis, like a communal thing in the cinema when they're watching this film, perhaps?
I would like that to be the case, but also that kind of catharsis can sometimes need to be private as well. So I have no problem people watching this on a plane too, but I would rather them buy a ticket and see it in the cinema. But I know that like some people need to have their feelings privately before they get to the safe place of expressing them to others. But yeah, I think there is a lot of that. I think yeah, commute like I know I thrive in communal spaces, whether it's music, film, theater, or otherwise. A communal feeling space is, yeah, a great place for me.
There's so much room and space to really get to know both your and Florence's characters. Did you have conversations with how you wanted that dynamic to play out, and what kind of were they?
Really, no. It was a very instinctive process between Florence and myself. The script was very, very well written, very, very clear in terms of their dynamic. I definitely had private conversations with the writer and with John. I'm pretty sure Florence did with the writer and with John in terms of our own characters and in terms of certain shades and colors and layers and attributes that we wanted to kind of bring out more. And then it was, with Florence and myself, it was more about us finding each other in each scene, in each era of these people's relationship and in their lives, and letting it be alive, letting it be unplanned, letting it be spontaneous and full of the uncertainty and destabilization that happens when you are, developing a relationship with someone. And then, of course, the stagnation that happens when you really know someone and you need to shake things up, like, so all of those things were kind of found. And she's a very instinctive actor. And it was a pleasure to show up every day to work, because I didn't know what was going to happen, but I did know that we were going to have a good time making these guys come to life together.
There's so much agency for both characters. Was that something that struck out to you as well? Because I know, she still follows her dreams after a diagnosis, and, he has all these wants and desires as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where the rubber meets the road in terms of, a kind of the difficult understanding of I only, we only get say over our own lives, over our own bodies, over our own choices, even if we are in deep, intimate relationship with another. Yes, of course, hopefully there is compromise and sacrifice and discussion because, especially when you have a child together. But ultimately, you don't get any jurisdiction over anyone else's soul or soul's journey. And that is really, really evidently just impossibly painful, particularly in the moment for Tobias when he realizes he has to allow his wife to, the mother of his daughter, to potentially shorten her own life in order to compete in a cooking competition. And it's like, I don't understand this about you, and I'm gonna have to accept that this is your choice, even though I might think it's abjectly ridiculous. So, it's a really profound moment. And I think we all have those moments with friends or with loved ones or partners where you go, oh my God, you're about to step on a landmine, and I've just got to let you step on the landmine. Because if I'm the one that tells you the landmine is there, you're going to resent me for telling you the landmine is there. And you're
Yeah, I think
the
that's
landmine anyway.
relatable. Yeah. Got to watch the train wreck, I guess. I guess I really felt the film obviously deals with grief in a really moving way. I know that you've spoken about your mum before. I lost my mum about 2 years ago, and I felt this movie so much. Was there anything personally for you that you can talk about that helped shape Tobias?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sending love in your.
Oh, too. Yeah, I'm sorry too. Yeah.
But if we're lucky that we lost them rather than they lose us, so that's
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
grace in that. It's like the natural order of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bring. I think I. Sidney Lumet, one of my favorite directors, always said it for an actor it has to be self-revelatory. While I'm rolling the camera on an actor in a moment of self-revelation for the character, it has to be self-revelatory for the actor as well. There has to be something personal, secret, tender that's being revealed. Otherwise, the audience are just going to keep eating their popcorn and maybe now checking their phone. And for me, everything I do, I want to have that element of self-revelation and personalization, even if the audience has no idea what that is. It's probably better that they don't. Um, but I want the audience to feel riveted to something true happening, to something alive and precious happening.
And what really spoke to me was how the film shows how limited our time is. You've mentioned recently to Elmo that sadness is a kind of gift. Has making this movie taught you anything new about grief and going through it?
I don't know if anything new. It was a vehicle to explore all the facets of grieving and grief. It was, I don't know, I think it's just further affirmation for me that if I have the time and the space, and if I have the luxury, and if I have the courage, that really feeling into each loss as deeply as possible, as quickly as possible, as widely as possible is the most healing path back towards life, back towards joy, back towards connection, and back towards meaning. And it affirmed that, I think, this film.
And you've had such a rich and varied career. How do you pick your projects? Did you know this was going to be a really special movie?
You never know. You have an instinct and you hope, and you then get kind of captured by the piece, and you get kind of dragged into the world of the piece by the muses of the piece, and then you're obsessed. Nothing else exists, and it becomes the most important thing in your universe, and then it's over. But yeah, all you have is hope and your best efforts, and there are so many uncontrollable variables that you don't get any say over. And that's that. And with this, I read it and I thought well enough of it to feel like it could be quite a profound thing. And what's gratifying in the outcome of this film is that, you know, we've already it's been released in America and a few other territories, and the response has been really, really heartening. Like it does feel, as you say, like there's a hunger for a film like this that wears its heart on its sleeve and hopefully encourages people back towards their own lives in a way that they compromise less on what brings them alive, on building their lives in proximity to those things, places, people that make them feel as alive as possible.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I'll get in trouble, but my little cousins loved you in Spider-Man and they say hi. So
Hey, to them too.
yeah, cool. Thank you so much.